G'day everybody and welcome to Andrew's Art and Models. I have a double review for you today and this is the fifth time I've tried to film it. So camera, work, damn you. You really drive me nuts. Sorry. All right. MisterCraft, Bf-109 F4 and Bf-109 G2 in 1/72 scale. So with JG54 there, I had to get that one. It was one of the books I read when I was a kid was on JG54 and I loved it. And the F model is probably my favorite version of the 109. I love the 109, but the F model was definitely my favorite. So we are going to start with the review for the F, and I'm going to show you why I'm doing both at the same time as we go. So let's quickly have a look at this. Right, instructions. We have the instruction sheet here, which is all very straightforward. It's got the F4 up there from JG5 in Finland, and the instructions are very basic and identical between the two kits, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, so you can see the construction there is not huge. Now, one thing that's interesting on this is it's got detail inside the cockpit there. And well, that's fairly representative of what you get. This isn't. That's really kind of odd why they put the detail on there and not in the kit, which we will show you very, very soon. Decals. Decals are nicely printed, very little amount of carry film, and they don't seem thick. They're not off register either, so quite happy with those. I am a little concerned about how they'd go when we put them in water. I've never used. I mean, I've never tried this brand before, and but they seem. I don't know. I'm just worried about them. I'm worried they're going to be a bit fragile and might break up, but we'll figure that out when we get to it, won't we? Canopy. So there is the canopy. Very, very basic. The sprue gates are fairly narrow to the part. However, where the part is connected is a bit iffy. Be very, very careful removing those to try and avoid fogging the canopy itself. And I would probably cut it off further back with my cutters. So I'd probably cut it somewhere back here. And then lay it flat and then try and remove that with a blade just to try and make sure I don't fog it up at all. But other than that, it's a little on the thick side, but it's okay. All right, let's have a look at the sprues. So this is the inside of the wings, and you can see the injection pin marks are quite awful, but they are well hidden inside the model, and there is nothing really on the exterior of the model as far as injection pin marks go. Flash is a problem on this kit, so every part's going to need some tidying up and cleaning up. You can see it on everything. So it's only minor, but it's just a pain because it's everywhere. Cockpit, that is the cockpit tub sitting right there. Sorry about the focus. It's one of the issues I'm having with the cameras today. It's yeah, just annoying me. Detail, yeah, not really there. And yeah, I mean, what can you say? The one real worry I have about these parts is if you look on the exterior here, the pedal lines are really, really soft. Around the ailerons and elevators and everything, they're probably okay, but around the rest of it, it's really, really soft. And you can see the surface is textured. I mean, just look at that there. That's really bizarre to me. That's obviously a mold. Whether it's a cheaply made mold issue or I have no idea, but it's going to need a fair bit of tidying up on the outside and correction. So here's what it is. Excuse me. Moving on, we have separate tails. So separate rear of the fuselage and separate tails. That is, I'm assuming, for different variants. They can chop and change between the fuselage and type. That's a guess, but otherwise I'm not sure why you'd do that. Everything else, once again, is reasonably molded, but lots of flash. All the injector pin marks are hidden. And remember what I pointed out on the instructions, I made a big deal about the interior detail on the cockpit. There really is none. So, I mean, there's no sidewall detail. The cockpit detail where the tub where the pilot is sitting and everything is very basic. And there's no control panel. So, yeah, make of that whatever you will. Once again, the detail on the surface here is a little bit soft, and these came scratched in the bag. And just look at, I mean, look at the detail on that. That's pretty poor. So this is going to be a bit of work. Hopefully most of this will be fixed with a coat of primer. This will be definitely one kit that I'm priming. But yeah, we'll have a look at that as we go. I'll just sort of, yeah, right. Is what it is, right? So let's move on to the G. Okay. Your first thing you'll notice is on the instructions it says F2 G2. You're like, okay, right, well, over there I've got the G2 and I've got the F4. All right, I'm not sure what the difference is between the F4 and the G2, but okay, I would have thought they're probably similar to the F2 to G2. Whatever. This has obviously been designed for another kit as well, so they can chop and change the instructions between the two. Color instructions, once again, nice color instructions. However, once you go into it, it then says Bf-109 G5 from JG53. So like, hang on, G5, when it's a G2 or F2, how did we get to that? No idea. G2, that's right, this is the one we bought it for. Details are on there, and the decals for the JG54 are on there as well, so that's not too bad. Overall, yeah, that's okay. Just obviously they're not going to use it for that. They've made a boo-boo there. Now, does this look familiar? It is the exact same model kit. So there is no difference between this one and the other one, as far as I can tell. If you can see something, let me know. Other than the decals, so the decal sheet's a little bit different. And we've got some rather nice green hearts there for the JG54. I like that. That's good. But yeah, is what it is. Canopy, exactly the same. No difference on the canopy. And let's have a look at the parts here. So when we were looking on the underside and we were looking at all the issues that the underside had, sorry, just trying to focus again. There we go. That's a bit better, isn't it? You got the same issue on this. So deforms on the end of the wings, very, very scratchy surface, like really not well molded. And the panel lines on this one are probably even worse. I mean, you can see that panel line just disappears. On the top, they're a little bit better than the bottom, but still not great. So yeah, bit of work on that. Cockpit detail is exactly the same. So we've got the very basic sort of block of a seat there. No control panel. And we go to the interior of the fuselage, and same issue there. So there's no detail in there. Everything else identical. So we've still got flash. We've got all the other little bits and pieces we need to clean up. And you just sort of look at it and go, yeah, rightio. So what have we done? We have reboxed the same kit as a G model, excuse me, just dropping a part there, as a G model and as an F model. Well, okay, there's not a huge difference between the two as far as I'm aware. The G, I'm fairly certain, had a DB605 engine in it, which was bigger and heavier than what was in the F4. But fuselage and everything should be pretty much identical. There's an armored, on their box art, they've got an armored bit of glass on the front there and not on the G2, so go figure. The canopies are the same, so who knows. Wingspan and everything on the plane should have been the same. I think there was a tiny difference between the wingspan on both these planes, but it was only minor, really minuscule, at least initially anyway. I don't know if it changed later on during the production series. So what are we looking at? We're looking at the G2 and the F4. It's exactly the same kit. It's just been reboxed and marked as a different variant. And yeah, I mean, that is what it is. The decals seem nice, and really you're buying the same kit just for different paint schemes. Now that would be, that's a good idea. I don't have a problem with that. But if you're going to do it, if you're going to do it, you need to do better than this. I mean, these kits aren't all that old. They're made in Europe, so you would have thought they would have been a reasonable quality, but the surface detail on these parts is just poor. Yeah, there's no other way to describe it. Poor. So, overall, would I recommend these kits? And the answer is going to be a yes. And you'll be sitting there going, why on earth? You just bagged the hell out of it. Why would you recommend it? Well, a couple of reasons. Firstly, this is a very well-priced kit, so they're not expensive. So if you're looking for a kit for someone to cut their teeth on, this is actually not a bad kit to do it on. It's reasonably detailed. It's fairly simple to put together. And at the end of the day, it's going to look like a 109, right? So it's not too bad. The best part about these kits that I see is not only the price range and the different color schemes and markings that you get with them, but if you want a kit to practice on, so you want to get a kit where you want to rescribe the panel lines and you want to do rivet detail and you want to, cut off the ailerons and adjust them and adjust the flaps and the rudder and all that sort of stuff, this would be a great kit to do that with. Because if you muck it up, meh, who cares? It's not the end of the world. You haven't dropped a pretty penny on a gorgeous prima donna kit, so to speak, and then wrecked it. So from that perspective, yeah, good kit to buy. I will probably end up keeping these and put them aside for a day when I really want to go to the nth degree in terms of rescribing everything and fixing all the detail. I'm a sucker for the F model 109. I don't know what it is about it. The E model's fine, so the A, B, C, D, and E are all okay. As soon as it gets to the F model and they change it and make it more streamlined, it looks fantastic. And then the G model just sort of gets a bit heavier and piggish, I think, until you sort of get to the K, and the K, yeah, anyway, I'm just rambling now. That doesn't matter. But the F model, the very few F models in 1/72 scale that I've seen, yeah, if you really want an out-of-the-box, better F model, this is not the one for you. But if you want something to play around with and have a bit of fun with, and it doesn't matter if you muck stuff up, then this is the perfect kit for that. So, end of the day, would I recommend these? The answer is already yes, I would. Are they for beginners? Yeah, they're not too bad. They're fine for a beginner just to start with and have some fun with. So I would recommend them for that. Certainly within their price range, they're fairly cheap. So, you get what you pay for, really, with these. Yeah, so with that, we're going to call it a day. Thanks for watching. We've done a little bit of a double review bonus for you today. But as you can see, it's pretty much the same kit. So there's not a huge amount of work there. Yeah, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions or any corrections, by all means, please put some comments comments down below. I can't talk today. I've been filming for too long. Yeah, I'd love to see any feedback you have on this. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And don't forget we do the monthly giveaways. And yeah, we've got those coming up very, very soon. Thanks for watching. We'll see you for the next one.